Delayed gratification is a social skill whereby one denies themselves immediate pleasure for a higher pleasure that would come in a later time. Say, for example, you deny yourself a good meal every day so that you can save up and maybe buy a laptop or buy a good phone or even buy something that is more meaningful to you. So this is a skill that one learns. You're not born with, but you learn in the process of life. One of the examples I would like to give, apart from that one of denying yourself a good meal, is also denying yourself maybe some immediate business that would give you a less amount of money for a business that would give you a higher amount of money. Say, for example, you're a salesman, you're selling cars, and someone comes with cash and tells you, I want this car. And because of seeing the money, you might pick it very fast. When you do that, then you become impulsive. However, another salesman would say, okay, just wait a minute, just hold on to your money. Let us check whether this is the real car that you want, or you can even have another one. And therefore would show a number of other cars that they have. Now, studies have shown that the second salesman will make a better sale because of denying himself the immediate pleasure of receiving this money by delaying a little bit, and therefore giving maybe the client time to find something better that they can sell. So another example would include that of a student. A student who, for example, says, instead of getting an immediate job that would give me, say, a good salary at a lower level of education, let me increase my education. Say they go for a master's or a PhD, or they just increase their education for a while as they wait, would most probably get a better job than the person who says, maybe with a lower education, I already have a job, I don't need to go further. So delayed gratification would work on any area of life that you can think about. Of course, one of the things that you realize on the impact of delayed gratification on mental health is that there is an immediate, what I would call an immediate negative impact that is minimal. But you sacrifice that for a higher impact that is more positive. Say, for example, the person who says, I'm not going to take this job immediately, of course, would maybe stay for some time without having some money, and that would maybe have a negative impact on them. But then in the long run, there will be a bigger reward for them. Now, studies that have been done, and especially a study that was done in Oxford on delayed gratification, was done among children, 5 years, 5, 6 to 7 years. And those children who had developed this skill at a very young age, when they became adults 20 years later, another survey was done, and those children who had already developed the skill of delayed gratification when they were young enjoyed better mental health as adults. So people who have already learned this skill enjoy better mental health compared to those who have not learned the skill. And of course, when you have this, you're most likely to enjoy better subjective well-being. That means you're most likely to see your life becoming better, looking at yourself as a happier person. You're most likely also going to enjoy a purposeful life, meaning that you're going to be reaching your goals more and knowing what you are aiming for. Because again, we are talking about sacrificing smaller goals in life, smaller purposes in life for a larger purpose in life. And people who have been known to live a purposeful life have also been known to be happier in life compared to those who live a more impulsive life. The impact of delayed gratification on daily life just means that people who have developed this skill of delayed gratification are most probably to get their targets, their goals, and what they need in life more. So they are most likely going in the wrong run to be less frustrated in life, to be more successful in life. Like a businessman who has developed delayed gratification would most probably become a better businessman compared to someone who is very impulsive in their life. So the impact here is that you become more successful, you acquire your goals more, and in terms of progression, then you progress more and you achieve more in your life if you have developed the skill of delayed gratification. That's why the other names that have been given to delayed gratification is self-discipline, self-control, self-delay. So all this, and you see people talking about the key to success is discipline. The key to success is self-control. All these are meant to mean that what you need to have developed is a delayed gratification. Some of the practical ways of learning delayed gratification is looking at what are some of the things that you can deny yourself in the immediate and denying them with a purpose. I have seen people trying to deny themselves without a purpose. It doesn't last long. So for example, you can say, I have been eating my lunch and my lunch has been like, say 1,000 bob for lunch. I can say maybe I'll be eating less food or less costly food and spend about 200 or 300 bob, depending on your affordability, in order to buy a good phone or in order to even pay school fees for my children. Another good example is starting saving with a purpose. So for example, you can say, I'll start saving so that in my old age or in my retirement age, I'll have gotten a certain amount of money that will have kept me maybe for some years, or I can start up a project even in my old age. So these are practical ways that you can start now practicing this skill of delayed gratification. You can also delay gratification by saying maybe I will not have such money, but I'll keep it and use it at a later time with a specific purpose. So you find, like, for example, people start off saving. They say, I'll be saving a certain amount of money, or I'll be keeping aside a certain amount of money. They do that maybe the first month, the second month, the third month. Then somehow along the way, you start forgetting it. You find yourself even having used the little money that you had already saved. And mostly this is because you do not have a purpose. Delayed gratification has got to be purposeful. You have to know why you're doing it, and you have to have an end in mind in delaying your gratification. I would say the most appropriate time would be in childhood. The experiment that was done in Oxford University actually was done among children of 5 years. So a child can start learning delayed gratification very early in life. Some of the ways that we can start teaching our children how to delay their gratification, for example, is to say you cannot have the cookie in the evening when you're going to bed, though it is there, but you can wait until morning, where you can have that cookie that you had to have in the evening plus another cookie. So you either have one in the evening or you might have two in the morning. And therefore, teaching our children to wait until maybe the following day for a few hours so that they can have their cookies or even any other meal in appropriate time. Another way is helping our children to make small sacrifices for bigger ends. So for example, instead of having a chocolate every day or something sweet every day, they can save up that money. And you can say maybe a chocolate would cost, say, 100 bob, 200 bob. Or there's also chocolate, 5 bob chocolate. There is also 200 bob chocolate. There is 10 shillings chocolate. And instead of buying that chocolate, you can have a place whereby, or a home bank, whereby you would say, this would be your money for the chocolates today, so can we keep it in the home bank? And then after some time, let's open up the home bank, see how much we have, and you can buy something that is of greater value. So you can save up and buy a bike, for example. You can save up, buy a favorite toy. And that would show the child that they can deny themselves some of the immediate pleasure for a greater pleasure in future. There is a difference between delayed gratification and imposed suffering. If you have anything that when you deny yourself, it affects your normal functioning of life. Say, for example, you deny yourself food and therefore cannot function well in your work, or you find yourself being too sleepy in your work because you're not eating well, then that is imposed suffering. That is not delayed gratification. In delayed gratification, we are saying this is something that you can do away with. For example, you can do away without a beer and maybe have something that is greater than having that beer. So that would be termed as delayed gratification. But you cannot do away with meals. Say, for example, you say, I'll not be eating for a whole week or 2 weeks. So that would be something else, like that would go towards sacrificing yourself, which is different from delayed gratification. Okay, though some practices like fasting help you to harness the skill of delayed gratification, they in themselves are not delayed gratification. Okay, so that would be termed as a self-imposed suffering. This might be for a greater good, but not necessarily a physical good. So, like when I fast, then maybe if there's a spirituality attached to that, that cannot be said to be delayed gratification. It is more of self-imposed suffering, which has got a greater good. When I do it in order to maybe have a material good, say for example, I suffer, I don't eat, I endanger my health, maybe to save some money. Now that is self-induced suffering, but without a proper purpose. So we are not talking about self-induced suffering here. We are talking about delaying a pleasure that you can probably do away with.